Roles were defined back then. Now, the guy has to throw the milk, he has to clean it up while telling his wife she's brave for just sitting there.
What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a nice weekend. So we're back with the most requested guy so far, and that's Bill Burr. And this one is Bill Burr cracking Conan up. So let's just jump straight into it.
Bieber thing upsets you at all? Or do you feel... I mean, this is a guy who's getting a lot of attention.
I have no problem with any of his behavior. Like, if I was his age and, you know, I had, like, you know, what does he have? I don't even know what he has. A Ferrari? A Lamborghini?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Every chick out there wants to bang you. Like, how are you supposed to... How are you supposed to behave? Limos. He is a limo driver at 19, and he's not, like, going to a prom. It's like he's going to an arena where everyone's screaming his name. His behavior is completely normal. The only thing I didn't like was that shot where he was playing hoop.
Yeah, it went viral, I think. He was playing basketball, and he took a shot and went in.
He was playing with his black friend that he's paying to lose. If that dude wins, he's out of the entourage. He's got to go get a job. So he's got to sit there like, you know, his phone was blowing up this whole week like this, and you don't understand how it works. I have to lose, or I got to get a job. So I just didn't like, he hit a layup. He hit like a 12-footer, and then he turns around, and he's like glaring at the camera like I said he couldn't do it or something. It was just like...
He does. He looks into the camera like I showed all of you.
I never saw Jordan do that.
Yeah, Bieber, thought
so. Like he just did something. It didn't even look like the net was regulation. It looked like one of those... And he's just sitting there. No, I was just watching it, having empathy for him. Going, yeah, that's what I would be doing. I'm surprised he's not doing blow. That's what I would have done, right? And then I get that look, and I was just like, you know what, F this guy.
What do you think of parents now? How do you compare them to parents in the 70s?
Oh, it's just completely... The kids have so much power. It's, like, ridiculous. Like, half of these kids, I'm like... I look, and I just have what happened to me. And I'm, like, looking at a kid and be like, this kid's about ready to get punted across the grocery store. And it just never happens. It just... Like, when I was a kid... If you didn't finish your supper, as we called it.
Supper, yeah.
Yeah, my mother was just like, well, you're going to finish... she would just wrap it in cellophane, and you just picked up where you left off for breakfast. Yeah, I remember one night we had cube steaks. Cube steak was like, they literally had to hit it with a hammer to make it, like, edible. And so we were having cube steaks. And I forget, my little brother was still in a high chair, and he couldn't finish his. So my mother goes, all right, well, you're just going to have to eat it for breakfast. And that was like 8 hours away, which was like half his life. So he was like, all right. So the next morning, I remember we were having waffles. My mother always made Sunday breakfast. So we had all these waffles, eggs, bacon, this whole layout. My brother was looking at half-eaten cube steaks and a little mound of green bean casserole. And he goes, so he looked at my mom. He goes, Mom, can I have a waffle? And she goes, no, you got to finish your supper. He's like, well... After I finish my supper, then can I have a waffle? She goes, no, that is your breakfast. And he goes, oh, Mom, I hate you. And my dad, without looking up, took a full glass of milk and threw it in his face. I swear to God. This is what kills me. What kills me.
You want everyone today to have as miserable a childhood as you had.
No, it was kind of funny. We know what's hilarious was my mother just popped up and just immediately started cleaning up, and my dad just kept eating. Like, he didn't... No, like, the roles were defined back then. Now, the guy has to throw the milk, he has to clean it up while telling his wife she's brave for just sitting there. Women are so overrated, right? We went from not listening to them to now it's ridiculous. Like that Believe women. It's like all of them. How about 85%? I'll give you 87%. All right. But that last 13% that keys your car, lights your shit on fire, and puts a family pet in a pot of stew.
not a stew.
Glenn Close.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
That's, yeah, okay, all right.
You know, Oprah was interviewing him and acting like she was dumbfounded that this guy would do this. Like, she's been in show business for 35 years, and she can't, like, wrap her head around some guy doing whatever it takes to get to the next level. Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have, like, midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she didn't have the power to say no, so she wrote it out. And then when she could make a good decision, she did a show. But she stood on the heads of those little people for 5 years until she did. And then she's sitting there across from this guy like, so how could you? You know exactly what he's doing. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. The top 20 guys, like, all tested positive for roids. So our roided up guy beat your roided up guy. So you want to go with the .22 caliber, right? Perfect gun to shoot in the house. It's a low caliber gun. You can't really kill anybody from a distance. You know, so if they take a hostage, you can just start shooting at them.
Perfect.
Just let it go.
This is good to know.
Yeah. So whenever I'm on the road, I talk about getting a .22. Everybody makes fun of me. You know, because, you know, it's that guy thing. Like, oh, what, are you going to shoot a squirrel?
Yeah.
With your little, you know, little gun. But if you're in a house, that's what you want. Little .22.
So it's a .22 you think is superior to the
Well, you don't want to get
part
like
of a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. You don't have like a .44 Magnum. It's like you're going to shoot through the guy, through the wall, blow your dog's brains out, and, like, blow up the engine out of your car. It's just way too much. Just
22.
get like a little .22. You can still hear.
Right?
No, I shot a .38 one time with no hearing, no hearing protection.
Yeah.
I was doing landscaping for this guy, and all of a sudden he was like,
that follows.
Sound that needed killing.
yeah, and he was like, I got this 5-shot .38. I never shot it. It was the 80s, so you're like, yeah, why not? There's no laws.
You can't explain anything by just saying, oh, it was the 80s. Why did you do that? It was the 80s.
We went down the street, somebody burned a car for insurance, so we were shooting at that, and after the first shot, I couldn't hear anything, and I never forgot that. So if you're in the house and you miss, now you can't hear, you're blinded by the muzzle flash, this guy's coming around your bed with a sickle, and you're shooting the wrong
Is he harvesting wheat? What's he doing? What's he doing in your house?
No,
with a sickle.
I honestly, as you get older, you think about safety, and like I totally relate to that.
Yeah.
When you're home alone, it's just that feeling.
Yeah.
It's just you're the only person there. You're what's for dinner. If somebody comes in, it's on you. That's why I never was comfortable in a motel.
What?
Because you're just laying in this bed like 2 feet from a door, that just opens up into the parking lot. Any guy can come in, and you're just not ready to have a fight to the death. You're just laying there. You turn the comes in.
Well, to be honest, I'm never ready to have a fight to the death. It's not like in a motel. You think in a motel, it's like you're particularly vulnerable.
In a motel, you should. You know, just drive by a motel and just look at it. You're just looking at those doors like there's just people in there, just laying on beds like half naked. You know, just laying there.
And the door is like that thick. It's barely.
You could put your foot right through it. He's gonna be like that. That's it. Last thing you're gonna see is just. You're going to be looking back at your own body, like upside down. I bring a lot of tension into the house, according to my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, we're always working on me, you know? Like, my wife is evidently some completed work, like under museum glass, and I'm like that building that has scaffolding around it for like 7 years. No, she's a saint for putting up with me. I know. But like, my latest thing that's driving me nuts is I spent 20 years in the back of the plane getting treated like an animal. And I finally worked my way up to the front of the plane, Group 1, which means you get to board like it's your plane. Right.
You get to board.
Yes. You
first,
sit in a chair that's the size for a human being. You have a place for your bag.
Yep.
Right? You get a little hot towel and all that. And then the second I get that, all of a sudden now, there's like these 20 groups that are like pre-boarding now. Like half the plane qualifies, and they're getting on. And I just sit there just like losing my shit. You know? It starts off like it's just like anybody in uniform, anybody in military. So it's like, all right, all right. But after like the 20th guy, you just start being like, have you seen action? Lines at least. Then it's anybody with kids, anybody with disabilities, and then just anybody with a red shirt. Hey, it's Tony Tuesday. Anybody named Anthony can get on. Dude, one time, I saw this guy get on the plane. Okay, he wasn't in uniform. He didn't have kids. He had all his limbs. He wasn't limping. He didn't have a cough. He just walked on the plane. It's like, who the is that guy? How did I get on before that guy? So, no, I always hated the anxiety of being in the back of the plane. I just remember, like, the worst is whenever you would get your seat and you'd sit there and they're about ready to close the door and you'd have that empty seat next to you. Like, the poor man's first class. You're like, oh, shit, I'll bring the armrest up. I can actually be great. And then all of a sudden, some fat bastard gets on the plane and you're like, no. You're like Quint at the end of Jaws, like sliding down the floor. I swear to God, this is all true. This dude got on. He was so fat. He was sitting next to me. I was literally next to him and behind him. He like tried to make himself smaller, and he like folded his arm, and his lat came out like a, you know, those old Western saloon things. I'm just sitting behind this thing. So yeah, that motivates you to try to get to a certain
all these
place
years,
in life.
20 years, you work your way up to the front, and now still they won't let you.
Yeah, now that fat guy's considered disabled because he can't stop eating. So he gets on. Look at everybody groaning. 90% of the world is starving to death. That guy. Eat salad and get on the treadmill like the rest of us. We're all working out. What is the problem?
Well, okay, what could you do? Could you do anything then? Could you get on the plane? Is there anything you could do that would get
I imagine there's something that I could be doing. There's always something that I could be doing. That's what I've learned being married. You know, well, you should have done it this way. I'm sorry, like that literally.
So I'm your wife right now.
That was just playing in the loop. What am I doing now? You know, this is the thing. You know what kills me? It's just like if I could just fix my temper, my wife, she'd have nothing on me.
Yeah.
I work my ass off. I make a great living. I like doing the dishes. I'm a great dad. All she has on me is just, it's just, I don't know, like my overall vibe.
All she has on you is your overall personality and vibe.
Yeah, but what kills me, I was this guy
the essence of who you are is the only thing.
Yeah, but I was this guy when she met me.
Yeah.
She's acting like I changed.
Yeah.
I was always flipping out.
Were you flipping out the day, like when you met? Did you flip out? Did you really that early?
Yeah, I remember. She told me to go see that movie Monster. Remember that movie with Charlize Theron?
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody was saying how, oh my God, it was unbelievable. Like they literally blamed guys that she was a serial killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you saw the Jeffrey Dahmer movie, it wasn't like, somebody shoved a tuna fish sandwich up my ass and I confused people with food, so they didn't make like a big excuse for him. You know? She was a psycho killing people and she should have died. But I'm like watching it feeling guilt.
It's cracking up.
Do they ever take responsibility for their actions? Even when they're murdering people, it's somehow our fault. It's unreal.
Why would having a tuna fish sandwich? Why would having a tuna fish sandwich shoved up your butt make you want to eat people?
Because another man did it. Right? So it's another person. So you equated, I don't know, sex with food? I forget how the idea went. But all I know is she laughed. When I said it, she was dying laughing and kind of saw my point. And I always hate when she says to me, she'll just be like, you know, I just don't see where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? It's just like, honey, how many childhood stories do I have to tell you before you follow the breadcrumbs to the psycho that you married? I mean, did you ever take a psychology class like you didn't see this coming?
Right.
That's what it is. It's not that she says that I'm a jerk. It's just the nerve to be surprised.
All right, I wish we had more time. Good God.
All right.
I feel like do I help you at all by getting
No,
this
this
stuff
is cathartic.
out? It's cathartic, right?
Cathartic, because I'm going to go home. She's not going to watch this. She's over me.
I love it when a guest says no.
Right, I think that's it. Yeah. Right, guys. Yeah, but not too bad. It was obviously his class, but yeah, it weren't as good as his stand-up ones. I'll have to get some more of them done. But no, I'm going to get straight off and get this Patrice O'Neill button done next. See you in the next one. Peace!